what I was like going through, right? So my father was also into cycling. He was more of a touring guy. He'd do big miles and I'd do shorter ones. So when we went on like what I called my training rides, like it's 15 miles, it's 25 miles. Of course, I had more jump than he did. But finally, we set up everything the way that it was going to be for him. And we went on a bike ride. It's still the longest one I've ever done. It was 139 and a half miles. And
I don't even think I've walked that distance in my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happened. Like we rode out, I guess 65 miles, and then we turned around, and somehow like I picked up 5 more on the way home or something. So anyway, on the way back, because I was hot, I had no shirt on, and I was like running out of water and everything, and I got home and I beat him by a bunch. Like it was this like great glorious day in my life. I got back from a 140-mile bike ride, and I sort of nearly collapsed in the living room. Not like collapse, but the way you do after a good exercise, and I just
After you
sat
put
down.
an 86-year-old man in his place in a bike ride marathon.
That's right. Well, he was he was 8,000 at the time. So anyway, I had no shirt on for like the ride home, and my entire back was blistered. The entire thing. Not like spotted blisters or something, but there was one blister on my back that covered like 2.5 square feet. It was enormous. And sometime during the healing process, I like bumped something.
No.
My God. Like the whole like skin landscape of my back shifted by 3 inches, and there was like this earthquake created like crater coming down the like this like a giant 2.5-inch wide scratch or something that just showed like new raw skin, and then all my other skin had slid over by that 2.5 inches, and it was like a movie earthquake scene where this.
Why did I ask this question? I was expecting something much less graphic.
And I missed a couple days work. I was busy selling shoes at the time. I was like a high caliber employee.
Al Bundy?
And
Like Al Bundy.
like Al Bundy, yeah, man. And yeah, so that
Did you
is
go
my
for the
worst
golden
sunburn
shoehorn?
story ever.
No, I was at where was I? I was at Panama. I was in Panama, and I got pretty bad. Like nothing like that, but the my nose had blisters on it, and like the top of my shoulders did, and my shoulders did. But I've never had that horrid experience that you just discussed. That sounds like something out of a horror movie. That's bad.
Dude.
Sounds like you fucking snake shedding skin or some shit.
My entire summer, my nose would be perma-blisters, right? So I was a lifeguard on the ocean, right, on the beach. Not on the ocean. That would be a fish or something. But I was like a Baywatch type thing, and sun would just hit me nonstop. And as much as I would like put suntan lotion and things on my nose, I could not stop my. If you don't know, your nose has 2 things working against it. One, it sticks out, right, as opposed to like a vertical surface, and the other, the rays reflect off your sunglasses and kind of bounce right on your nose, so it's tricky. Anyway, so I'd put lotion on it. I couldn't stop it, and pretty much all summer long for years, I would like chip pieces of nose off. Like like I had hard, solid skin.
Is that
on my
why
nose.
you always see the lifeguards like the white shit on their face?
Yeah, because that's the only stuff that really protects you from from the kind of sun that your nose gets.
And just recently, fisher hats protect you against that.
Fisherman hats? I guess
One
it
of the big brown bills.
I used to wear something like that, but I rocked it, right? It was a time in my life where I could make a freaking Viking hat look sexy. Like that was the day.
Viking hats aren't sexy?
This is getting. We can probably change the topic. This is getting not only gross but homoerotic.
Fashion tips. I got to go and cancel an eBay order here.
That's so goddamn sexy. I could put anything.
Dude, here's where I'm taken. I had so much sun during those years. Now I'm on the other side of it, like the decline, sort of. What happens when you abuse your body as a younger guy, and I'm having these like cancerous moles removed from my back. So I had 4 taken off. 2 of them proved to be like pre-cancerous or something. So they came back and removed a chunk of my back that is the size of like how every so often you get one of those larger than average peanut M&Ms. That's about how much back they took away. Ow. And yeah, so I don't know how you make that story hot. I might be able to show you like a.
No, you're good. Now I've got to actually go. I don't know why I wasn't watching you anyway. Let's see this thing.
Am I getting it?
Is he taking his shirt off?
I'm pretty sure that's where we're headed.
All right,
Naked
massage,
podcast.
massage his back a little, Kyle. See if we can get some more stuff off of him.
Here we go. Ah, do you see stitches? I can't hold the shirt off that much. I'm looking at the camera. It's delayed by a few seconds. Oh, I didn't get it at all. Shucks. Well, that's all you guys get. I'm not taking my shirt off to you.
I don't
Go to
want
hell.
any more. I'm happy.
I'm sort of wondering why my stream isn't kicking off. I've hit start broadcast. and I've
Somebody in the
broadcasting.
chat wrote, "What? You were a lifeguard? You never told us." That's yeah.
Dude, that's Woody living out his golden years.
Yeah, those were good days, baby. Those were good
I
days.
had a Camaro in high school. I had like 3 different girlfriends. What do you do now? I pick up trash for a living.
Oh, I need a little fan.
But I tuned into the stream so I could see you now. You are awfully red. What is that green crotch decoration you're wearing?
Is
rocking
anybody on
there?
my stream actually
dude,
seeing?
so let me explain what happens here. This is the father side of me. I will get to the green crotch decoration in a moment. My daughter made me these friendship bracelets that you can see in the stream here. And for guys listening in their car, one is kind of orange and brown, and the other is like pink, green, and white. And she's like, hey, Dad, I made these for you. And I'm like, oh, cool, And I put on this friendship bracelet. It's like a bonding thing. And, I'm thinking I'll wear these until they fall off. And that'll be that, right? I'll have done my sort of parenting thing, wearing bracelets that are, less than fully masculine. But whatever, it's a father-daughter thing. Dude, it's been like 4 months I've had these damn bracelets on. They won't come off at all. I've taken Brazilian jiu-jitsu lessons. I've freaking wrestled FPS Russia behind a Denny's. These bracelets are they won't remove. They're stuck on here. I'm going to turn 70 years old again with these bracelets. And now my son got something called an ugly doll. And I'll show it on the camera here. So, and it's the same kind of thing. He's like, Dad, would you wear this? And I'm like, yeah. And now I'm not quite sure, like, how to unwear it. I'm not quite sure how to remove this thing. Like,
Maybe you should gift it to him. Maybe you
that
should be like, now you wear it for 3 months.
Dude, you have to understand, like, we drove home from New Jersey and I'm wearing this thing. And I'm like, picking up windshield wipers at the auto store. I'm going to Walmart. We ate at Wendy's, and I'm rocking this like child's toy from my belt the entire time, and that's. I don't know. On one hand, it's like totally not very macho to hang stuffed animals from yourself. On the other hand, like in my head anyway, it goes around full circle. It's like F you, yeah, I got a stuffed animal hanging from my belt. You got an issue with that? I have no issue. Like it's like the manly version of wearing pink. Like, yeah, I'm freaking so bold that I have no problem with this outfit. And here I am, like in a dress. So, yeah.
You think this would be the first time I ever streamed. I'm having trouble here.
I would have the same trouble. I hate tech stuff. I hate trying to get that shit figured out. I remember
You hate tech
trying
stuff.
to.
I still haven't put my banner back on my channel.
All right. Well, I mean that's a little different, but
One thing
I don't-
I have to.
my banner back on my channel.
Shucks. I have to keep reloading my stream to keep the comments current. Like, this is what I discovered. My live streams get a lot of comments, right? Like, the last one I did got over 70,000 comments. That's a lot. And at
wish I had that
first,
problem.
I was mad because the comments would be like an hour and a half behind the game. And I'm playing Skyrim. And for those of you who don't know, I'm freaking ridiculously bad at Skyrim. Well, I'm getting slightly more competent. I mean, I've got whatever, like 10, 12 hours in the game now. But I started off insanely incompetent. And people would give me advice in the stream like, no, go behind the waterfall, get the thing. Dude, I had left that waterfall an hour ago, and the comments were still rolling in. Go behind the waterfall, go behind the waterfall. So you have to hit F5 in your browser, and then you get comments that are, related more to, like, what's going on. Like, someone said he's laughing his ass off right now. For all I know, we were funny, like, 5 minutes ago. and I don't know why he's laughing. But you got to reload the stream a bunch. So
I actually haven't had a chance to play any Skyrim yet. I've meant to. Haven't bought it yet. But
Dude, I
just
bought Skyrim like on its release day, and then it sat in a wrapper for almost a month on my table because I was so into Call of Duty, and eventually it was like, you know what, I'm gonna play more games than just Call of Duty, and that's what I do. I still play COD. Played today.
Let me give a little thing here. If you're on my stream and you're watching, you have to go to 480p for it to appear. For some reason, that's the only one that will show up.
Okay.
somebody said your hairline is gorgeous.
Dude, they constantly talk about my hairline. They never stop. It's all about my hairline. It's I don't know. Like at first I thought it was like an insult, and then I like a compliment, and they they are just loving my hairline all the time, and I don't know why. Like it's kind of a normal hairline, right? Like it's like everybody else's hairline. For those of you, if you've never seen me or what I look like, I have a regular person's hairline. I feel lucky. Because I'm,
You could look like Wings.
I'm 7,000 years old, and I have roughly my high school hairline. Like it's really not much different. So yeah.
People out there that's not looking at my stream, you're about to see something horrible. Let me show you this.
Well, I'm definitely not going over there now.
I am. I have to see.
You failed to sell me on that one.
Oh, I don't have any related channels. Wings used to be in my related channels.
You're still in my thing. It's just YouTube sucks.
Oh, it must be this layout. It must be because I'm in my live stream layout that I'm not on your when you live stream, it changes your layout.
Yeah, that's what it looks for a 25-year-old that doesn't have a woody hairline.
Hey, is my mic coming in too loud?
No, it's not.
Hey, it's supposed to complaining. You just turn your fucking speakers down, motherfucker.
You sound great to me. I've heard other guys. They're telling me behind the waterfall right now. Oh, for people asking how old my daughter is, she is 12. She's 12 years old. And like to me, 12 years old is kind of a little early for you guys to say some of the things that you say. Right? Like I think you're exempt from that talk. Like when you're 17, when you're 18, it's open season, right? When you're 18, it's whatever. Like it's people are, I don't know, they're in their adulthood years. When you're somewhere in between, 14 and 17, I can kind of see you maybe thinking things that if you're in that peer group. But 12, lay off. She's 12. She's 12 for crying. 12, 1-2, baby. 1-2. Like, how are you saying the things you're saying about a 12-year-old?
Woody, I kind of find that you're being a little insensitive here. Back in your teenage years, didn't they used to marry at 13?
Maybe you bring up a good point. What was I gonna say? I had something else to say. Oh, dude. So my brother-in-law, I saw him over the holidays, and he was telling me about the students that he teaches. So he teaches in a disadvantaged school system up in New Jersey. And he was telling me about the sex issues they had there. Now, mind you, these kids are his school peaks out at 12 years old, right? So it peaks out at 12 years old right now. They had to shut down the slide. The slide was one of those covered tube type slides, that's dark for a millisecond and then you pop out the other side. And what would happen is the boys and girls would go in the slide and start doing sexual things to each other in the slide, and then they'd slide out the bottom together and straighten up all their clothes and put their belts back on, and they had to board it up. Now there's plywood blocking the entrance and the exit of the slide because because of that.
I should be labeled a sex offender. I just imagine a 12-year-old voice that hasn't even dropped yet be like, "Hey, Becky, suck my dick," or something like that.
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
That's about what's going on. Dude, he had an eighth grader with 2 kids.
2 kids, huh?
2 kids.
I'm just throwing this out there. I'm looking at some age of consent laws, globally. 12 is legal in the Vatican, Mexico, Zimbabwe.
The freaking Vatican. They only do that to protect themselves, right? There's a bunch of priests up in the Vatican dude, don't raise it. What the hell's wrong with you, John? Whatever their names are, John or the Paul, they all got those Christian names. Paul, don't you raise the age of consent? That could turn around and bite me in the ass. That's what they're thinking in the Vatican.
Oh, and Angola. So, in case you're one of those places.
I think American Indians were married and having kids at 14.
Oh yeah, popping them out.
Do they really have like age of consent laws in Nigeria?
Yes, they do. 13. Although it is illegal to have homosexual sex of any kind.
Kyle keeps this as a pocket
They're like-
reference in his wallet.
No, I'm looking
right?
at this on Wikipedia. Like
He's not on Wikipedia. He just pulled this thing out. He keeps it next to his credit card.
I
It's
have
kind
an app.
It's an iApp, exactly. He
Dude,
pulls the thing out.
I might need to get on that. That would be a good app.
Dude, that would be an amazing idea for an iPhone app. You should hook up with an iPhone developer for $1. The age of consent laws around the world.
For all you pedophiles out there, Libya has no laws against sex, so you might want to go there.
Really interesting. Well, they're kind of in a
Neither does Iran.
spot right now. Oh, Iran definitely has some laws, man. Like, let's.
I'm going by what this graph right here is giving me.
This says you must be married. There's no age of consent, but you must be married. So if you want to get married at 10, you can bang the shit out of that 10-year-old. But all homosexual sex is illegal. No girl on girl, no guy on guy.
I'm just going by age of consent law on Wikipedia, and it says no law, gray. And Libya and Iran are both gray. And I think Congo. But who the hell's having sex in Congo? Eh?
Dude, everybody's having sex in Congo.
Everybody's having sex in
Yeah,
Congo.
nobody says no in Congo. That's the beauty of Congo.
You go to the Congo, you getting some.
You know, I feel like it's going well. Let's start the show. Let's do an intro. Wings, you got it?
I got a question. Why do we start the show anymore?
I don't know. We should just lead with the show. Because now the thing is about live streaming the show, like the whole notion of a pre-show doesn't really exist anymore. Because YouTube doesn't listen to me. YouTube doesn't say like, oh, Woody wants to start now. You know, we'll publish this part of it. No, dude, it's going to publish the whole damn thing.
How about we just cut the intro and just keep rolling with it?
All right,
God damn it.
We'll keep rolling with it. Very good. Hey, I got a question for Wings of Redemption. This is something I thought of in advance. Are you ready?
Oh, no.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Hypothetical situation. You are a manager, and Jordy works for you, right? Wings works for you. How do you manage you? How do you get the most out of Wings?
Holy shit! Damn, you should hit me up. There's some pretty. Let's see. I know I like to show out, but I'll also like to sit on the ass. So if I was magic myself, I would think like myself. So usually I would pick the guy.
You're not managing you. You are like, I guess you're giving advice to your manager, right? How do you get the most out of you?
Put me in a position where I can ask other people to do work.
All right.
Because me, I'm really good at telling people what to do, but I'm really bad at showing them. So giving me like, line foreman, just make me the boss of a certain section and give me like 3 or 4 motherfuckers that are very obedient. I will give you production quality numbers.
So instead of any actual work, you think you'd be a good slave driver?
Yes, like if I had the whip and they were on the slave stick, I could get you 2 or 3 monuments out.
What is a slave? God, what's
So
a
it's not a
slave
whip,
stick?
a stick.
A slave stick. A slave stick is a device they used in Egypt on the slaves. What it basically is 2 pieces of rope tied to a tree trunk. It's like a section of tree trunk about 4 feet long. And what they would do is if a guy would keep falling down, they would tie him to the slave stick. They put the one end of the noose around his neck, and they put the other end around the neck of the guy in front of him working or beside him. That way, if he fell down again, he would break his neck.
Cool.
And kill the person beside him as well, because obviously the tree trunk's got the extra weight. But that's the idea behind it. You ever heard lash to the slave stick?
No, I've never heard that. That's a horrible thing.
That's how they used to roll back in the day. Them Jews were getting messed up.
God damn. That's yeah. All right.
So yeah, how do I get the most out of you, Woody? Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I was going to say before we got to the slave stick that what Wings wanted was pretty close to my last job, right? They'd give me a team, I'd send them in the right direction, I'd figure out how the work was to be done, and assign it to people with the appropriate skill sets and rock it. The other thing about me is I consider myself kind of high performance, high maintenance, right? What bosses love is low maintenance, high performance. They love it when guys just sort of, crank away forever and ever and not ask for things in reply or in response. Me, I'm like, look, I recognize the corporate policy is everybody gets one computer, but I'm fucking Woody's gamertag and I'll be taking two. And that's just how I rolled. Like I had two computers. I had, yes, I get it, one monitor, but not for me. I'm more productive with two monitors. Don't you think that's better? And I had two monitors. I got promoted at a rate faster than all my peers. And part of it was, getting work done. And another part of it was like, hey, I require a steady stream of promotions to keep me happy. And that's how we rolled it. So, yeah, how do you get a lot out of me?
Two monitors is like made my life happier.
It's better, isn't it? It's better.
Yeah, I just recently went up to two monitors, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, how many years did I waste?
Yeah, man, two monitors is the way to go for sure.
I think about putting a third one in.
I'm torn on third, right? It's not that expensive, A monitor's like $200, which is. I'm not going to say it's like free or anything, but
you got to accommodate the space. Like I'd have to build a desk to put a third one in.
That's the thing. Now I have a really big desk, but I have to ask myself, like, do you appreciate this glorious expanse of elbow room and papers, and I've got another computer over there and things like that, or do you want another monitor? Even with two monitors, I find I have one that's kind of my primary, the one I'm really looking at, and the other one that's off to the side, like the Skype in case somebody writes, or the web pages that I'm not actively reading or something like that. Like, I have one monitor I'm really devoted to and another that's a secondary. What would I do with the tertiary monitor?
See me right now, I have 15 links open on two different monitors, and I could probably subsidize that to a third monitor, which would be like Skype, Twitter, and stuff I just constantly look at that's updating.
I don't need that much. I've got one monitor. It's a really big monitor. I guess it's like, I don't know, 24, 26 inches, something like that. But like
I got 50
got,
inches of retail, Kyle. What
yeah,
you
that's
got?
silly. I've got my Facebook, I got my Twitter, I've got a YouTube link, and I've got Ice Films where I stream videos. And then, Skype doesn't need to be open.
Now look,
what is Ice
Kyle.
Films?
Ice Films where you steal movies from. But Kyle, once you take that, what you do is you take that in your Chrome, pull it over to your next monitor. That way you can watch your movie the entire time while you're over here doing something else. So you don't have to click onto it.
I was sure Ice Films was going to be like motherless.com times 2. I was sure it was like, yeah, I've got my Facebook, my Twitter, and snuff films. Like that's just how I roll.
Yeah, those are the snuff films. They bash their heads in with blocks of ice. Good stuff. Ice film. Check it out. No, I think the way to get me to work, honestly, and this is going to sound silly, but it's to go ahead and like give me more than I deserve and have me like earn it, if that makes sense. Like
that must be nice.
I find when I work with companies and they go ahead and like take the first step and they give me a bunch of stuff and they don't really say, do this for us, do that for us. They just give me a bunch of stuff or do something for me. Then in the back of my head, I feel like I owe them something. So I do more for them than I probably would have if we just said, hey, I'll do this and you do that.
I notice I work harder if I'm doing well. Like if my channel's getting 1,000 subs a day, I want to make good videos. But if I'm getting 50 subs a day, I lose heart in it. It's like, that kind of deal.
I hear you. Professionally, and I wonder if everybody does this. Like I would go through highs and lows, and it's not that I would just like my lows were really horrible or anything, but there would be times where I was rocking. I was the super me. I was working till late at night. I'd have giant teams. All of us were motivated and happy and charging forward. And there would be other times where it's like, yeah, I can't wait for the weekend. I'm working, but I'm really concerned about the weekend.
I zone out for about an hour when I first get here. I do another 2 hours after lunch.
Yeah, I'm getting my stuff done, but I'm making time for Reddit as well. That'll happen. So,
anybody hear about this Zerk Riz kicking his dog?
No, what happened?
Somebody just sent me, says, what do you guys think about Zerk Riz kicking his dog? Can we get a link to this?
You got to be careful about that stuff, dude. So many people will send like fake messages. One thing that happens to me a lot, and I shouldn't even say this because it's just going to happen more now that I brought it up. But I'll be like live streaming, and they'll be like, Woody, can you believe what Chris Smoove said about you? What did Chris Smoove really say? Nothing. Chris Smoove doesn't talk about other commentators. Nothing happened. It's all good.
I don't believe stuff till I see a comment here.
Exactly. You show me a link or you GTFO, because a lot of times people will just say stuff in the chat that's not born out of truth. It's craziness. So I know we just mentioned Zergriz kicking his dog, but be advised.
But it's unconfirmed at this moment.
Yeah, that's allegedly.
Who cares if he kicked his fucking dog? The dog don't deserve it.
Apparently somebody named Rob Brine.
I mean, who am I to judge someone kicking a dog? We've done prank phone calls where we asked people if we could buy their puppies to have them stomped by naked women in high heels. All right, what you know about puppy stomp?
I've actually shot a dog before, so that's all good.
Who hasn't shot a dog?
I need to refresh my comments.
Let me go ahead and throw the story out there before I be labeled a dog racist. What happened when we were coon hunting?
A dog racist. A squirrelist. You're a squirrelist. Go on.
We're coon hunting, and the dog got into a fight with the raccoon, and it cut his belly open, and he was going to die anyway.
All right.
Well, raccoons got sharp claws.
I just think dogs make good targets. I just shoot them.
Dude, so my wife and I were brainstorming about FPS Russia videos, right? Because, he usually shoots zombies. And we're like, well, what else could he shoot? And my wife, she's like, puppies. I can totally see this, right? Like, you have puppies all lined up. They're like cute and adorable. And, like this puppy is a killer. I can see it in his eyes. He won't grow up well. We're going to kill him. And then like work it all out and do it. And then at the moment of impact, it becomes obviously like a stuffed animal. And the cotton goes like flying in the air like a girl's slumber party, like fantasy. Am I alone on this one? I don't know if this analogy is working for other people. But like the feathers fly everywhere. And then, it's like, yeah, that puppy's dead. Like that's my idea for a Russia video.
Here's an idea for a Russia video. Have him shoot the Fox News Network anchor people.
All right, goddammit. Nick, stop it! Fox News alone.
It ain't got to be nothing nice. It could be a zombie that has like a name. Sean Hannity stroked over his chest. I got imagination. Whatever happened to Combs? There used to be Hannity and Combs. They got rid of Combs. They kicked his ass out the door.
Yeah, they did. They found like the weakest, meekest liberal, right? And meanwhile, Hannity's got like facts spewing in his ears from a whole team. Combs is out there on his own, doing his best to stand up to the guy with the louder mic. And they're like, this is too close to a fair fight. We got to get rid of the liberal. And now it's just Hannity rocking solo. Poor Combs is out of there.
Not watching this porn or nothing.
Dude, you want to talk about who's going to be president? Who's going to be the next win? Who's going to win the next election?
Oh man, that field is pretty weak.
If you go by political ads, it looks like Ron Paul.
All right, it's not going to be Ron Paul. Obama will beat Ron Paul. That's just the. And honestly, I think I would probably vote for Obama before I would vote for Ron Paul.
Why?
And here is why. Like I'm all for the libertarianism. I'm all for all that stuff. It's great. Like 90% of and we've been having this discussion at my house a lot. 90% of what Ron Paul's for is great. I love it. Smaller government, mind your own fucking business. Cut all this government waste. Small government. Liberties, all that shit. It's great. And then he starts talking about Iran and how we just need to mind our own business and it'll work itself out. And, like, don't even worry about it. When it seems to me like you have a maniac over there, like,
Poland said that same shit.
It's funny, right? Kyle, because I agree with the first half, and then all my reasons are the opposite, right? Like, I like 90% of what Ron Paul says, but the things that I don't like are the things that you do like. So here's the thing, right? Smaller government. In theory, that sounds really great. But I also love that the meat comes to my house unspoiled. I also love that like the FDIC is there. So if my bank goes out of business, I still get my money. I also love that if the local coal plant or something is regulated to prevent the pollution from spewing out of the towers. You ask Ron Paul what his plan is like for that, and he's like, oh well, you have property rights. So if the whatever poison coming out of a power plant lands in your yard, then you can personally sue the power plant for damages and you'll be set. Right?
And I'm like, whoa. That. Here's my
what
thing
if you're
about
choking on fucking
I know
waste?
you say you like that, but hold on a second.
The capitalist system works out most of those issues. You talk about the spoiled meat. How much longer is fucking Tyson Chicken going to be in business if they start sending out spoiled meat? But you don't have to regulate them to the point where chicken is as expensive as it is. You don't
But
have to do that.
I hear what you're saying, and on the meat thing, maybe kind of, right? Because like, what if it was a more subtle poison, like lead in paint? You know, where like it's
DuPont
like,
goes right out of business if they start putting lead back in their paint. They're not going to do it.
Well, yeah, but like the detection of it, right? Like if you have a government who says, you know what, we think there could be a problem here, you need to stop today. That's that. If it's consumers, like the problem with this, like you stand up for yourself and you'll be fine, is that I feel powerless compared to DuPont. I'm going to sue DuPont for, better yet, for decades, people could not win a court case against a cigarette company. They couldn't do it, right? It was obvious that cigarette companies were doing things to make their cigarettes as addictive as possible, and they weren't doing everything they could to make them safe. People were dying all the time, and even in the 80s, they were saying cigarettes don't really cause cancer, right? That's kind of, a gray area. Scientists aren't quite sure. And you could not win a case against a cigarette company because they would just draw it out, make it as expensive as you possibly could make it.
I think it's
and then
so
offer you a
ridiculous
settlement.
that people sue the cigarette companies, though.
The
I hate
only
that
people that ever won a case against the cigarette company was the government, and that was in the 90s under Clinton.
And it was bullshit. Why? Like they're fucking selling cigarettes. How stupid are you that you don't know that it causes cancer?
Okay, and I hear you on that, but take that same kind of difficulty in small person against large person and make it an energy company, right? Make it like
No, hang on. You're kind of twisting it here because, in my opinion, the consumer stands no case against the cigarette company. It's like suing McDonald's because you got fat.
Right,
No
I hear
shit.
you. I hear you. But the reason I brought that out as an example is that when you're a little guy suing a big guy, it is really difficult to win. So, I get you. You kind of know what you're getting into with cigarettes, right? Maybe
But see,
not.
it's not a good comparison because if you're suing the cigarette company, you're not in the right. You shouldn't be able to win a case against the cigarette company.
But the tactics that the cigarette companies would use, making the case as expensive as possible and drawing out the case as long as you can, would work also for like your local coal burning plant or whatever. And they would make it really, really difficult. If they're putting poison in your water and you're suing them as an individual, good luck. It's going to be super hard to win. And they can't let you win because once that precedent is set, then everybody will start beating them. And
You ever see Aaron Brockovich?
Yeah, that was a really tough case, and that was an unusual case. But back on topic, that is why I like the EPA to sort of help me out with this thing, right? The EPA tests my local river and makes sure that that there's no poison in there, that I'm not getting abused by some fertilizer company up the road. So I like Ron Paul, but I do also like a little bit of government regulation in terms of like environmental protection and things like that. There. On the other hand, I'm against you on the Iran thing, right? Like, we don't need to be the world's policemen. Let them sort it out. They'll all deal with it. We
let me ask you this.
have more trouble by sticking our nose in every fight.
What do we do if they attack? What do we do if they attack Israel? I'm just wondering what your opinions on that. What do we do if they launch a full-on nuclear attack against Israel?
God will protect Israel.
Or the more likely scenario, what do we do when the Israelis find out that, yes, in fact, the Iranians do have a nuclear missile, they are arming it, then they attack, and then the Iranians counterattack with like one they didn't know about? Like what's the appropriate action there? Do we leave Israel, our only ally in the Middle East, to fend for themselves and like let them be destroyed?
I hear you. I'm trying to figure out this like cognitive dissonance, this disconnect, right? Because you're saying like for an American and you're spoiled meat, F you, you're on your own. It'll take care of itself. But if you're not American, then we should be out there protecting you, making sure that your neighbors aren't causing you any trouble.
I'm gonna look at this as a tactic.
There are military allies.
If
someone, we're not, and we're talking about. You're talking about a case of incompetence, not where. I mean, there's no meat companies out there who are saying, "Yes, put the mercury in, more mercury." They're not doing that. They're just,
they
maybe
are.
by
but not like that. It's not like they're acting. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying what if Iran has substandard practices and a nuclear missile falls out and accidentally drops on, Israel. I'm talking about if they target Israel and fire a missile at them.
I'm saying the world is a harsh place, and you do not get to live under the umbrella of American protection. We can't afford it. It is how every empire has collapsed throughout history. They overexpand, and then they find themselves weak and vulnerable. And that is exactly the playbook that we're following right now.
Well, that's what the British Empire did. Have you ever looked at a map of what the,
The
British,
British
Empire?
Empire, the Roman Empire, the Egyptian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, the
I'm gonna
Turkish
look at like this
Empire.
as a tactician.
Back in my day, the Mongoloids did it too.
Yeah, those fucking Mongoloids.
Oh my God!
But all right,
freaking
but
Attila.
you do ha-
I
you have
told
to agree
Attila.
that-
Go on.
You have to agree that like you have allies out there, and you expect them to come to your aid when you need them, and in the same hand, you should come to theirs. There's a reason, that we fight these wars. It's about democracy, and it's about our interests worldwide. You can't just let someone crush your allies. If someone attacked the United States, I would expect the UK to come in. If somebody attacked the UK, hell, I would sign up. I would go fight in a war if someone was attacking the United Kingdom, or if someone was attacking, one of our allies, in Europe. So why is Israel supposedly the bad guys when they just want the little piece of land there?
I'm with you on the having military allies thing. The thing about Israel is it feels like a really one-sided relationship, right? We give, they take. That's it. Like, I don't see Israel giving United States very much. I think they're on the receiving end just all the time.
I bet you're forgetting about the religion aspect here as well. Because the fact is, tactically, you should lose Israel. Like, if I was playing StarCraft and all my bases on one side and my expansions over there, and I kick troops over
Back to the roots.
I'm letting that base go to cut my losses.
Israel is not an expansion in fucking StarCraft, goddammit.
Let's break it down to gamer terms.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta add up the religious factor. Because half Congress is a Christian religion. Probably over half, probably 80%. And they're going to go over there just because that's God's country. And they're going to protect God's country. Why do you think we won't have allies with Israel to begin with? They give us nothing. But the fact is, we have God's country under our umbrella of safety.
We're trying to hold a flag in the middle of their spawn. It's a terrible
Yes,
idea.
That's exactly. But the fact is, I do not agree with your say of let them sort it out themselves. Because that's what England, Poland, and France did to Germany. And they all got took over.
Yeah, you let them take you out one at a time. Oh, they won't mess with us. They just want to go over there and mess with the Poles.
All right, Kyle,
let them have Poland.
your prediction, who's the Republican nominee?
I don't see how it could be anyone but Mitt Romney. And the only thing that Mitt Romney has going against him is a lot of the evangelicals don't like a Mormon. And what I know about the Mormon religion, it does seem a bit kooky. It seems a little bit like old school Scientology, but not in practice, but in the sort of silly kind of made up religion that it seems to be to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't want to be bigoted toward the race, for the religion, but that's just what it seems to me. Want to correct me? Go ahead. But
The Mormons have magic underwear. Have you ever seen it?
they have fucking magic underwear. All right, thank you. God damn it! I'm glad somebody jumped in here with me.
Yeah.
All right, so the
Even like
religion.
Milwaukee too.
If Mitt Romney was a Catholic, if he were a Jew, if he were just a Christian, hell, probably if he were an atheist, he would have much more backing when it came to the evangelicals. But the fact that he's a Mormon, that some people aren't going to back him. Other than that, he has flip-flopped on issues. But hell, the guy was the fucking from Massachusetts. All right, you've got to go back and forth and say what people want to say. If you're in what's pretty much the most liberal state in the fucking country, it's right there with Cali. So I got no issue with his flip-flopping. People hammer him about that. He looks the part, he speaks the part, and he's a very smooth public speaker. And I think it's about time we had a president who's a good, smooth publich speaker.
Wait, Obama's a good public speaker.
So it doesn't matter how you
Obama's trash.
sound. It doesn't matter how you sound if you're just talk.
Well, wait a
if
minute.
just-
You said it's about time we had a good public speaker. And it's like, well, all right. You might not like, what he has to say, but he's a good public speaker. Most Republicans
Let me just say
will
this.
give him that.
I mean, Germany had a really good public speaker too. I mean, let me just say this. You know who the best public speaking politician of all time, in my opinion, was? Modern history, so that we got recordings. It's fucking Hitler. Now, let me just be clear on this. Hitler's a fucking monster. He's burning in hell, getting fucked by 8 demons right now. He's a piece of
But
shit.
he also took a country that lost World War I, brought them back from the brink, gave them jobs, and made them almost conquer the world. That's a pretty good leader.
No, I'm not talking about that. No, I'm not endorsing what he just said.
Yeah, but the fact is that's signs of a strong leadership. The fact he was fucking off his rocker and crazy as a bad shit out of hell, that's two different things.
His leadership was pretty poor. His motivational skills were what were amazing. The guy, I watched...
And morale wins war.
I watched... Yeah, it does. I watch Hitler's speeches on like History Channel and even on YouTube. Pull one of those up. And I don't speak German, but that guy's up there and he's pounding his fists and he's shaking his head and he's just looking at you like, yeah, I'm going to
He starts saying that doing the Obama thing where he goes, well, here in America, read on the paper, we like beliefs. I can't stand watching Obama's speech. I think George Bush was a better speaker than Obama.
What?
I will say this about some of George Bush's speeches. All right, now here's the issue with George Bush's public speaking. Very well written, I feel like. Very poorly delivered at times. They weren't always badly delivered. If you look at somebody like Rick Perry, he has a hard time speaking at all. And it's not because he's dumb. It's just public speaking is a difficult skill. I mean, me and you talked about this earlier. You know, sometimes we have people call into the podcast here, and they really just fall apart. They're like, yeah, oh God, I'm Jimmy, and you know, they fall apart. Not everybody can speak in front of 5,000 people, much less 300 million people. So Rick Perry's terrible at it. I think George Bush is definitely a better public speaker than Rick Perry, and I think some of the time, some of his speeches are better than some of Obama's speeches. For the most part, Obama's one of the most charismatic speakers we've had in a long time. I just think he's full of shit 90% of the time. He'll just, and I mean, even liberals will, if you look at the things he promised you, not many of them came true. You know, it's just on and on. We'll give you this, we'll give you that. You know, his whole thing. I remember I saw a YouTube video today. It was called Obama
Let's hear
Tells
the specifics.
There was a video I saw today. It was like Obama tells 8 lies in 2 minutes, and it was funny. And he goes through it, and one of them was like, every piece of legislation will sit on my desk for 5 days so the American people can read it before I sign it. The other one was like,
I missed that one.
All spending bills will list the companies who are there to benefit from them, and the American people will know who their representatives are voting for, whether it's them or if it's a corporation. All bills will be done in the open. No more of this behind closed doors. So and if you think about how like the healthcare bill was done, literally behind closed doors.
It was like the energy bill under Bush. You want to do a whole new topic?
Yeah, sure. All right. But in closing, I feel like the candidate who my favorite candidate out of all of them was Herman Cain before he just fell apart. I don't know what the fuck. Jesus Christ.
Or who the fuck in that case? I got a new topic.
Geez.
You ready?
But Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney. Kyle, we have a trip coming up. Leaving, I guess, in 2 days. Going to Conway.
Yeah, I'm going to sunny.
We ain't talked about that yet.
You said we should talk about it on the call.
Yes, we are going to talk about it on the call, but
Here
we
we
haven't
are.
confirmed this yet.
We're coming. No,
I mean,
Kyle knows your address. Therefore, I'll know it. Expect to see me.
I can get you here. Shoot, I ain't worried about that. Like, what you guys want to do when you get here?
That's what
I ain't got room to like.
Oh, we'll get a hotel
room. Up.
Dude, I can get a hotel room. I can bring a cot. I can bring a tent.
I'm bringing an entourage with me. There's at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 people coming with me. Like we're gonna hang out.
I'm just gonna hop in my truck. I'm gonna throw some guns in the truck. I'm gonna show up at Wings' house and we're gonna do our thing.
Yep, have some fun, hang out.
Y'all ready to break some laws?
No.
What?
No, I'm not ready to break some laws.
Grow a pair.
Because there's a nice big piece of land around here, but it belongs to the water and city. But they never go out to it. They just own it just to own the land rights.
Now we're talking.
I've been told by my business partner that if I get in trouble or go Robert Downey Jr. as he puts it, that he will shoot me and it won't be a kneecapping. So I got to be careful.
We're gonna break like regular laws, not Robert Downey Jr. laws.
We're not going to get felonies. We're going to get misdemeanors, Kyle.
Yeah, dude, misdemeanors are part of growing up.
It's actually any crime that is that is sentenciable up to 1 year would be what would fuck me up. It's funny. One of the guys that I deal with, it's a long story. I won't get into the specifics, but basically, his livelihood was put into jeopardy. His licensing for what he does, because get this, he went fishing, and he caught a fish, and he had seen Bear Grylls how he would clean the fish. I guess you cut the neck and then grab the head and like gut it that way. You pull it down and it guts the fish and beheads it at the same time.
Ain't that how you gut a fish?
Well, I've never gutted a fish before, so I just don't. I'm not a big fisherman. So he did that while he was on the boat because he wanted to see how it worked, and his boat got pulled over by like the Coast Guard or whoever the fuck pulls boats over out there. And apparently in Florida, you have to return the fish to the shore in one piece, or it's a crime that is sentenciable up to 1 year in prison for like cutting a fish in half, or in his case, cutting its head off before you get back to land.
I would have lied my ass. I'd be like, look here, a gator bit it.
He's out.
Gator bit it.
He's out in the open ocean speedboat with a fishing line. But yeah, and
I don't give a fuck. Animal.
I had to do some research on that. Like, why would it be that there's a law against cutting the head off a fish while you're still in the water? And it turns out that like certain fish, there's you can only like catch them and take them with you if they're of a certain length. So you could get out of that, by cutting the head off. It wouldn't be able to be measured properly. So he didn't know that. But yeah, long story short, I'm not breaking no laws. I'm not looking to do anything silly.
The only people we need to worry about up here in Conway is game wardens.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck you up in Conway.
I had a friend who did a year in jail because of a game warden. I don't need that.
Our cops are fucking nothing. Our cops are stupid. They're illiterate. They're backwoods, and all they worry about is fucking speed traps. But our game wardens,
if the Conway Police Department are listening to this, I do not endorse what Jordan is saying. You are none of those things. You glorious men of the law.
Yeah, fucking Conway's fine. You can suck my dick.
Like, why would you say that? Like inevitably, like, there's going to be a cop or two listening, and he's going to call over to Conway and be like, that Jordan guy drives that Roush F-150? Listen to this.
Exactly. That's totally how it's going to go down.
I don't fuck with cops.
But dude, we're going to go. We're going to do New Year's Eve at Wing's house. Hopefully, we're going to make some things go boom. And
I got a TV we can blow up.
Yes, that'd be a great idea.
I got a couple 100 pounds of explosives laying around, so we'll have some fun.
My brother's home too.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Bring an F-2000 over. You can shoot
I can't even hear your brother without thinking about his crooked penis.
Oh, I don't.
Well, he has another skill that you'll enjoy much more, Woody. It's called drinking Bud Light.
Just to be clear, I don't enjoy the first skill at all. Like, that's you got me wrong.
Oh man, Woody likes the crooked cock. Right there, folks.
Woody likes a little bend in his adventure.
Oh my god.
Didn't the military straighten him out? He's still drinking too much?
No.
Are you talking about his cock or his personality?
No, he's like pretty much like mellowed out a lot, but his drinking's went into a second gear. He's going for third.
Really?
I like people in the military. I've met a lot of people in the military. Like, I've met some special forces.
My brother told me a cool story over Christmas Eve, though. You guys want to hear it?
Sure.
That's what we do here. Bring it.
Well, it's not really. It was neat to me because my brother, he got hit with a frag grenade. His Humvee did when he was on a mission. You might probably remember me telling you about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had to, 2 days later, that same guy that fragged him, he had to patch him up.
How did you know it was the same guy?
Because they had pictures of him. Because they videotape everything they do over there. They put like cameras out and they show them doing the act. Like, say they go to shoot a soldier, they videotape themselves shooting soldiers or throwing grenades or whatever. Like, you see them on YouTube all the time. You ever see the video of the guy with the RPG shooting down the wall? That's one of their videos. They always videotape themselves doing acts to the U.S. military.
Okay.
And found the camera on him, and that was that act that grenaded him. Well, the Iraqi military had put the boots to him bad. They put the boots to him so bad, he was scared to take his shirt off from my brother.
Why was he scared to take his shirt off?
Because he was scared because he was beat up in the back so bad from getting kicked around that he didn't want to accuse the Iraqi army of doing it. So he wouldn't take his shirt off and said he fell.
So did your brother just patch him up and send him on his way?
Yeah, I'm like, how can you patch him up? I would be fucking up some IVs on him. I'd be doing something.
Put a little salt in those wounds.
There'd be like 5-6 holes in his arm. And he's like, oh, you got a bad case of rolling veins right here. Let me try again.
Wow.
There'd be something I would have done.
I watched. You were talking about the the insurgents or whatever, like recording their attacks. I was actually on I won't say what website, but I was on a website and they were like linking live leak videos and YouTube videos that were privated, like, hidden secret videos that would get flagged otherwise of military actions.
Was
people
it
getting
4chan?
shot. I don't know what that is.
All right.
And anyway, it was for the first 3 minutes of the video. It's like this whole group of guys in Iraq, planning a roadside attack. They've got toy cars and sticks, and they're drawing in the dirt. All right, look, it was pretty comical, and they were playing that song, "Let the Good Times Roll," and all these guys are like getting really pumped up about it. They're like, "Allah, Allah!" at the end. They're all getting really psyched up about it, and it's recorded, from their point of view. This is like a training video, and then they go out to like put it into practice. Right? They go out to do this thing. Immediately, things go awry. You don't see where the U.S. soldiers are, but they're laying so much heavy machine gun fire down on these guys. The guy with the camera eventually just goes, "Fuck it," and tries to run off into the desert, and it's like something out of a movie. He falls, and he's dead, and the camera's just pointing at his shoes, and you see blood kind of start running out onto the sand. And then they edit in pictures from the soldiers, from the U.S. soldiers' side, of what they had done to these guys. And they're all just dead and blown up, and the cars are shot, all this shit. It was a pretty awesome video. It was some good stuff.
Do you still have
I
that?
wish I had a link.
I can get it. Just give me a few minutes here.
It sounds like a
Check
link
that one out later.
Oh
I'll work
man,
on that.
but I mean, there's only so much know-how and tactics and knowledge you can go up against a fucking M1A1 tank. You got to have more than rocks and sticks.
I didn't see it. Looked more like they were on Hummers or something, and they just they had Mark 46s or something, saws and stuff, and they were just shooting them up.
50 caliber BMG greater than the AK-47, especially mounted on an armored Hummer.
Oh, did you see where the Washington D.C. is, or the area of D.C. is having to pay that guy $1 million who won that gun ban case against them?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they had handguns were illegal in D.C. and the guy, he fought it. It's unconstitutional, won it in the high court, and now D.C.'s having to pay him $1 million to the lawyers.
So which he sees probably none of it.
Yeah, I was wondering how much of that.
Yeah.
He's not pretty much unattained from a reward other than like a moral victory.
Yeah, well, that's
how
what
can you reward somebody?
When somebody goes after something like that, they're not going for money. They're going for change.
Yeah, when the lawyers do it, they're going for money.
Little hope and change. That's all.
You got to admit, those lawyers they took it big there. I'm like, that's a risk. How many times do you win that case?
I know. Yeah, it was tricky, and it was huge. It was big for the whole nation. For people that don't know, in Washington, D.C., it was illegal to have, I think it was a pistol even in your house. Am I on target here, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm 90% sure you're right.
And the guy said, look, this violates the Second Amendment. And for those of you outside the U.S., the Second Amendment is the one that has the right to bear arms in it. And the way that the Second Amendment was written, it can be interpreted to mean that it implies if you're a member of a militia, then you're allowed to have a gun. And it can be interpreted to mean that it implies, you're allowed to have a gun, and militias are one good reason why you're allowed to have one. And the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, came down against Washington, D.C. and said that it was the latter one I mentioned. You're allowed to own guns, and militias are just one viable reason why you might want one. So, yeah. And it turns out now that I guess they're paying for some of his attorney fees, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it means. At no point do they say, only shall citizens be issued firearms if they're a member of a militia. It says their right to hold and bear arms shall not be infringed. There's no way to, interpret that. It's so simple. It's so concrete. It basically says, don't fuck with people when they want guns.
I'm going to read what it actually says, because I'm kind of curious.
I was about to shoot a cat the other day, and I couldn't bring myself to it, so I ended up catching it with, shrimp in a cover.
What'd you do with it?
I relocated it, put it in another neighborhood. It was a stray cat that was sitting up here because my grandma kept throwing food out the back. And when I take the dogs out to use the bathroom, they'd want to chase the cat. So I'm like, and they'd end up not using the bathroom, and they'd end up using the bathroom in the house. I'm like, this has to change. But people with guns generally are not the people that are killing people. It's the people that want to steal the guns that want to kill the people with them. Not saying it's never happened. I'm saying the majority isn't the people that want to buy guns. Usually want to buy guns to shoot cans or maybe deer hunt.
All right, I found it. Here's what it actually says. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Right? So, I'll say it again. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And like I said, you could interpret that to mean a militia as being so important, you can't infringe them from bearing arms. And the way that the commas were placed, like, played this big emphasis on how the Supreme Court interpreted it. And but mostly the pro-gun guys, and I'm a pro-gun guy, but mostly the pro-gun guys say, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. What else is there to say? It's like, well, if you read the whole thing, I can see both sides of the argument, but I come down with the pro-gun guys.
Well, and the thing about it is, like, all you have to do is look at some of the quotes from the founding fathers. I just pulled some up, like Thomas Jefferson, on every question of the construction of the Constitution. Let us carry ourselves back to a time when the Constitution was adopted. Recollect the spirit manifested in the debates. It's everything here. Every one of them is just, guns are the teeth of liberty. No free man shall be debarred from the use of firearms. Thomas Jefferson. Just on and on. Washington, Jefferson, Franklin, George Madison, all of them. To disarm the people, that was the best and most effectual way to enslave them. George Mason. Like, on and on. James Madison. Americans have the right and advantage of being armed, unlike the citizens of other countries whose governments are afraid to trust the people with arms. On and on. It's obvious that they wanted everyone to have a gun. I remember there was a quote from the Japanese emperor that said,
I was about to say the Japanese.
Yeah, the Japanese emperor said something about invading America. He was like, it would be impossible to invade America. There would be a gun behind every blade of grass. I'm paraphrasing, but it's
there's some truth
something
to that
be said
too.
about that. Yeah, absolutely.
It's so if you're not in America, especially if you're not in the South, like, you don't realize how many people are armed. I would go on these vacations and realize everybody brought a gun. Every single, everybody. I'm out like with 12 guys, and somehow the topic of gun comes up. They all, clink, laying them on the table, like, yeah, here's mine. We're like passing them around, like, what do you carry? If you were to come into the U.S., at least in the southern states, like in New Jersey, I don't think it's quite as common, but shucks, there are a lot of homes with guns in New Jersey. I think they all do in other parts of the country, and it's just if the people didn't want you here, you would have a hard time occupying the United States. It'd be really difficult. It's not just the military. You get sniped all the time. You would hate it here if you were an enemy force.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. The main gun that people have, I would say it's like deer rifles, which are sniper rifles. Like people, people make a big deal about, it's a sniper rifle. There's no difference between a fucking deer rifle and a sniper rifle, guys. The Remington 700, that is like one of the most common deer rifles out there. That's a sniper rifle. That's a fucking sniper rifle.
I learned that in COD 4.
There you go, COD 4. You learn from COD 4. The M40 is just a tricked out Remington 700.
Hey, I have a whole new topic. Do you guys want to give it a shot?
Sure.
All right, so this was a question that came to me over my YouTube. Like, somebody sent me a message, and I'll do my best to read it well. To make the story short, there's a girl from my high school that had a crush on me, but she never told me until recently. It's been 6 months or so since we graduated, and the other night we were sexting until 4 a.m. She is obsessed with me because of my body, and I have to say that she's the hottest girl in school back in the day. We are planning on having sex soon, but I told her I was a virgin. And now she's making a big scene out of it and asking me if I'm sure I want to lose it with her and if she's the right girl, etc. I want to know what you think I should do. Well, Painkiller Already is the perfect place to address such subjects. Wings, what should she do?
What was the question?
Oh my god.
I was watching porn, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, you guys are retarded. So let me sum it up.
I heard sex and girl. Put a fist in her.
Stick it in her butt. They
Oh baby, your ring's hurting me, daddy.
The guy's a virgin,
Ring,
the girl's not. The guy's a virgin, the girl's not. And she's making kind of a scene out of it. Like, are you sure you want me to be your first? Which to me implies, like, look, I don't know that we're going to be married here.
To a girl, taking virginity is a big deal. Like, it's something special in her heart. Like, it's kind of like a sniper putting a notch on the back of his rifle.
Wait, what?
All right. Keep going.
I mean, that's the whole thing. It's more along the guy to make a choice. Do he really want the girl there? Because the girl's down for it. One thing I learned is if you say you're a virgin around a girl, you almost instantly have them intrigued enough to even to contemplate having sex with you, just to take it from you.
Really? So is this advice you're giving all our young listeners? If you tell girls that you're a virgin, it gets them hot and bothered?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm telling you.
All right. All right.
I don't see that working.
It does. Trust me, Kyle.
Hey there, baby. I'm not very good at sex at all, and it's probably not going to last very long.
Hey,
What's up?
sweetheart. I've never done
No,
this.
you're looking at it like this. You're looking at the pros and cons. Here's what they hear. They hear like, I've never had to touch a woman, and you're like, well, maybe I can set the standard, or maybe I can, teach them something like women like to cuddle. Women like to be the nurturing animal.
What if instead of a woman you were talking to a? What if instead? Think of it like this. What if your mechanic said to you, "Well, I've never changed a transmission before, but I'd like you to be my first." You'd be like, I think I'm gonna go on down the road, find that guy who's a transmission whore.
Does anyone else find some sort of Freudian slip that when we start talking about sex, Kyle always goes straight to trannies?
Oh my god.
Kyle like that 6-speed automatic, huh?
Right. I mean, like, dude, every time sex comes up, Kyle's like, oh, there's got to be a tranny reference in here somewhere. It's just where he naturally heads. Just,
Oh my god.
Just saw that.
I'm just saying, I don't think
Does your knob stick a little bit?
All right, that's not even relevant.
Is somebody
No,
playing with a gun on the stream?
Does the tranny get you? Is your tranny oiled up properly? That's very important.
It is. Yeah, that is so key. People don't know. Like, it is not good for either party if the tunnel's not properly varnished. That's just sex 101. Oh, so what do we tell this guy? You're saying this guy's doing it right. That the virginity is a sex lure, and that he should jump on that.
What I'm trying to say is the guy has control of this conversation. Mm-hmm. If the girl's worried about her being her first, that's a confidence issue. But she's ready to put out. So if you're ready to tag it, you might as well hop on top.
I don't know why all these guys. I see it a lot on your, guys write into you and they're worried about having sex or worried that it's going to go poorly. Just do it. It's going to go fine.
It's going to go poorly regardless. Just get the first one out of the way.
No, that's not necessarily true. If you watch enough, it's like you watch enough tutorial videos. Like
what tutorial videos are you watching? Are these on Motherless?
Have you heard of pornography?
They are tutorials.
Yeah, those are not tutorial videos.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and see this.
Pornography
is not a good judge of what sex actually is like. There's edits and cuts in that where they get time to put the dick out the pussy and start back over.
All right, now that is true, but when you try to live up to that, you become a sexual dynamo. All right. I feel like I could easily film
fucking JJ here talking about the pussy. Oh god! Yeah, I tore that pussy up. It was dynamite.
No, here's the thing, right? I let's see. Let's rewind 7,000 years in my case and talk about the first time. If things went too quickly, this was a willing girl, right? Round 2, bitch. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
like a foreplay game.
Like if for some reason, I didn't head into what she thought was round 1, like if there was no actual round 1 earlier in the day, then both rounds will be with her. That's good. Let's do this. It's what's the big deal? It's not as if she's like, oh, that was so fast. Darn it, I'm finished. No, the whole beauty of this thing is that she's not finished. Go twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go twice.
Absolutely.
You'll be fine. So, wow, none of us sort of took the whole save yourself route on the show here.
No, what's the point? Like, what's the point? Like, what are you saving yourself? If you're extremely religious and you are indeed going to save yourself for marriage, that is one thing. Like, I'm not going to, mess with anybody's religion. If that's what you're doing, then do it, and you're one hell of a guy. That's not me. So,
what about that guy this reminds me of that guy who used to play basketball in the NBA and saved himself to, 36.
Oh god, what about Tim Tebow? Doesn't he? I'm pretty sure he said that.
Come on, you fucking up if you're saving yourself if you're an NBA starter.
Oh, Tim Tebow's the worst though. Tim Tebow's like a young star quarterback, getting paid millions. If that guy isn't banging 3 different chicks a night, he is missing out.
Dude, he has the pussy fountain outside of his hotel room door.
Yes, right?
He's just not tapping into it.
I'm pretty sure he has a hot girlfriend or hot wife or something, right?
I don't give a fuck how hot.
I remember somebody was talking about Shaq. And I mean, all right, Shaq's not the best looking guy, all right? He's like a giant scary man. But they were just talking about him being
Shaq is a conquest.
They were talking about him being somewhere and just like women like throwing themselves all over him, just like left and right. So you know it's got to be like that for those guys. I mean, so it's if you're not taking full advantage of that situation, then at least for a while, I could see like maybe you get burnt out on it after 6 months or a year, but like you enjoy that 6 months, little man.
And never forget it.
At least hook your friends up. Like if I was bored of the situation,
right.
I could
There you
still
go.
get it. I'd be like, look here, if you want to fuck me, you got to fuck Billy over there first.
Yeah, exactly.
No, just leave town the next night.
Yeah.
Everybody in my little crew be hooked up.
I'm struggling, right? Because there's a show Woody and then there's a real Woody, right? The show Woody wants to say, yeah, dude, hit that 6 times, get our friends over, etc. Good fun. But the real Woody is like, if you give away this little piece of yourself all the time, then that piece loses its value. There is something special. If you follow the conservative route of, keeping that list small and getting married and living happily ever after, there is a special sort of bond and connection that you have there that might not be the same. And I have other, adult friends in my like demographic and peer group that have had like a long list of conquests, and they're like, when you do that, those people are the ones who oftentimes are less likely to be faithful for the rest of their lives. They just don't see this sort of like bond, privacy, sort of exclusivity thing that that other guys might. So like, I don't know, I'm not going to pass judgment on who you are. It's your body, you do your thing. But I just sort of wanted to throw out like, there is, if this guy is going to throw down with someone who's never going to mean anything to him, then he's sort of making a choice here. And if you make that choice too many times, then all of a sudden lots of things don't mean as much to him in the whole like sex realm.
Woody, is milk what you drink when alcohol beverage is required? I don't know. I'm going to be like, look here, bitch. You're going to get lucky if you get to suck cow dick tonight. So you better take what you can get.
I've literally said that before. But I like, not verbatim, but paraphrasing, I've said that before. The way I look at sex is that it's and there's a comedian, I can't think of his name, but he was talking about this the other night. And he was talking about how much farther the human race would have advanced if we didn't spend so much time like putting sex on a pedestal and making it this huge thing instead of what it is. And it's just like it's a bodily function. I think it should be a lot more casual than it is. It shouldn't be like this huge
I think the
giant.
Brits have it right.
Who has it right?
The Brits, you can have titties and ass right on TV. I mean, cable TV. It's not a big deal. They ants violence more than they do sex.
Well, that's kind of a separate issue, but yeah, I mean, they're.
I mean,
that's
why in America can you see a guy get decapitated quicker than you can see a guy fucking a bitch?
Oh, wait, you know what? I'm thinking this through. Wing is making a lot of sense here. We definitely need more boobs on television.
I think if there's boobs everywhere, then boobs mean less to you. You ever? I know what
maybe
you
that will lessen rape.
I know you guys don't go to strip clubs much, but I go to strip clubs occasionally, and like after you've been in a strip club for maybe 45 minutes or an hour, you don't really. You're like, oh yeah, tits.
After you've watched porn for about 10 years, you're like tits.
The strip club Kyle goes to, he's like tranny.
Oh my god!
I've seen them all.
Kyle has the magical box underwear. I'm like, I wonder what's under there. What's
Question mark
under there?
Question mark on the crotch? That'd be funny underwear. Oh man.
Oh, dude, I sell Got Wood underwear. Huh? Get it? Got Wood? Yeah. Like the shirt. Oh, Wings, didn't you have a topic you wanted to talk about going into the podcast?
No, I already talked about it. The enema on the little boy.
Oh yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Oh, you didn't talk about that.
You didn't talk about that.
Well, it's not that big of a topic. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to give an enema to Gabe tonight.
Oh wait, you're gonna do it?
Yeah.
Why
she don't. Well, I've actually gave an enema before and she hasn't.
All right, there's a lot more to dive into in this subject here. So,
okay, ask the first question then.
The first question: why are you giving an enema to your boy?
Well, he doesn't want to poop in the toilet. Like, we've got him to stop doing it in his pants, but for him, stop doing it in your pants means you hold it. And that's the wrong thing to do. What he's doing, he's basically getting to the point every time he eats, he just throws it back up because there's no room to put any in because his intestines is full.
That doesn't seem medically possible, but okay.
It is. You don't think your intestines can get full?
I think eventually you just shit yourself.
Well, apparently he doesn't.
Yeah, no, Kyle's right on this. Like, if I recall my anatomy and physiology from college, the process it's peristalsis, which means that is that what peristalsis is? You can.
I think you're talking about processes like your heartbeat that you have no control over.
Well, there's a term for these muscles that contract one way and not the other. Like your intestines, they only go down. Peristalsis might be that feeling of knowing where your limbs are without knowing where they are. But anyway, it just goes one way. I think that he'll eventually. Wow, so you're giving him an enema to make him poo because you feel like if he eats any more...
I know he has it because he hasn't pooped in like a week.
You know what? I have a story to share.
Like tonight, he was sitting on the toilet, and I was in there, and I'm like, come on, buddy, poop for me. And like he had to go so bad, he was jumping up and down on the toilet. I'm like, it's okay, let it out, let it out, let it out. And he wouldn't do it. He just would not do it. And we went through this a couple times. Like the last time he pooped, he hadn't pooped in like a week, and you wouldn't believe the amount of poop came out this kid. It was probably 3 feet long.
What a champion!
Oh my god!
It's like a fluorescent light bulb.
How did this come out of this kid?
How many Keurigs did it weigh?
I didn't pick it up and weigh it, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, good lord! It looked more than my stuff, and I poop a lot.
All right. I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound very disgusting. If there is, in fact, another repeat of a 3-foot-long shit, you got to take a picture and upload it.
I'll do it. He's done it a couple times.
As fucked up as it is, I will look at 3-foot-long poop.
Dude,
last time I went to Walmart, and he clogged the kitty toilet with it.
I picture like a brown turban all swirled up like a giant ice cream in the toilet.
Yeah.
This thing was so big that we couldn't flush the toilet. I mean, I have pussy-ass trailer toilets, but I had to go get a stick out of the yard and like swirl it around before the toilet was flushed.
Dude, this kid's a champion. He's like a poop master. So, Wings, I will tell you, and I don't know how normal it is, but when I was a little kid, I didn't poop very often either. I used to go, 4-5 days all the time. I remember I was like 15, and we went on this whitewater rafting trip down the Grand Canyon, and it was 5 days long. 5 days long, and they brought out a bucket, and it was like a 5-gallon pail that you would buy like drywall mud in or paint in. And they're like, this is the toilet for the trip. You know, you poo in here. There's a little like privacy tent type thing, and then you take it down to the river and you empty it out. And I was like, nope, not for me.
I'm like, just give me a damn roll of toilet paper. I'll go shit by the river.
I was like, yeah, I just won't poop this week, and I didn't. And for me, 7 days was a little bit of a stretch, but it was nothing beyond what I could handle. The adult me. We got daily.
I can't go 7 hours without.
Yeah, the adult me, he doesn't go a day. But the kid version of me, weekly wasn't really a big stretch. So I don't
Well, we've had pooping problems with forever. Like he's went from pooping his pants 3 times a day to not doing it for a week. There's some discrepancies there.
Oh God.
So
he may beat Bono. Bono's gonna be mad.
I'm pretty sure it is because like if we give him like Pedialax or like laxatives are not even working on him at this point because we've been giving him Pedialax the last 2 days.
So now that we've established that this kid may need some assistance, why are you the one to provide it?
Well, one, I've had an enema myself. Obviously, she has too. She's had kids, but I am less squeamish than her. Like I can actually take poop on my hands and stuff because like I told her like. It's most likely going to run out of him for the first 30 or 40 seconds because he has to lay there and let it kind of marinate and like dissolve the poop, especially if he's constipated in the bowel.
Have you talked to a doctor yet?
Yeah, we took him to a doctor about 2 weeks ago. The doctor said that it was because we showed Madison too much attention. But I was like, okay.
I just feel like it wouldn't be a terrible idea to get some like a medical opinion on somebody not pooping.
Healthy. It's a mental issue. That's what they said. They want to see a psychiatrist.
So let's roll with this idea.
And the psychiatrist, his dad won't let him see.
Okay, all right. So let's roll with the idea that this is a mental issue, that he's having some sort of hardship around potty. Is it possible that the enema could take that and make it worse?
It is a possibility. But right now, he's throwing up every day because he's not pooping. He won't eat nothing. Like, he sat down today, and we pretty much gave him candy today for dinner, and he didn't eat none of it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
like he's at the point where he don't want to put no more in because he can't hold it no more. And like tonight, if he goes to bed, he'll mess his pants, but he won't mess his pants enough to get him cleared out. What do you end up doing? He'll end up like pooping himself when he goes to sleep. When he wakes up, he has a little bit of room. He'll eat breakfast, he'll eat lunch, and then at dinner time he won't eat again.
So
it's like I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm by no means a father figure.
Yes, you are.
But
you're
I was
new
like,
to the role, but you are.
So I was like, usually if I'm in this situation, we get an enema. So I went and got a child's enema from Walgreens.
So new topic.
Enema ain't gonna kill you now, Kyle. I mean, but the fact is, it does burn, and
it burns.
An enema does burn.
Why would it burn? I think you're doing it wrong.
It doesn't. You're not doing it wrong. It burns because it's the saline. It's the solution in it, and it kind of reacts with the walls of the colon, and it kind of eats away the poop. It's not like a painful burn like your frying pan, but it's like uncomfortable.
I hope not. Let's not give him an enema with like hot grease or anything.
Like you ever had like?
We're getting that shit out now, boy.
Imagine hot grease on your anus. Oh my goodness, hot grease anus would be
like one of those old school like Roman tortures. We're going to fill his ass with boiling oil.
I don't know. Like I picture. For me, hot grease in an anus is a horrible experience. For Kyle, it's just one reason why he hooks up with trannies.
Yeah, you call that Friday night, motherfucker.
But for me, my grandma, she used to always warm mine up because I always had a constipation problem growing up. So I've had quite a few enemas. So.
All right. Well,
I don't know. Like
now that we've covered the pooping and the burning painful enemas.
Hey, it's a good topic, and there's a lot of could-be fathers out there probably listening. There's guys 17 that might be getting girls pregnant here in a minute.
In a minute, like after PKA is over, we're on, bitch. You and I.
Well, but the fact is, we can't act like it doesn't happen. How many guys you see at your school having kids? You said the other day there was 8-year-olds with kids. 12-year-olds. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 12.
That kid is a boss. Let me just say that.
He's almost a boss of that kid that got his teacher pregnant like 3 different times while she was in prison.
I'm positive that at 8 I could not have fathered a child. All right, I'm just saying.
No, he was 8th grade. Oh, and he was 8th grade, and it turns out he was left back a year, so he should have been a 9th grader. He was actually 14 years old. He had 2 kids.
So he's stupid as well. That's good to know.
Well, what'd you think? He was smart?
Einstein anyway, knocking him up. All right, we could probably move on to
for people on the stream. If you have to reload the stream on mine because there's too many comments, and you fall like you're way behind. The comments start relating to the wrong topics and stuff. But yeah, Wings. Like I don't know. You do what you're gonna do,
right?
What
would you do in this role?
What would I do if I was in that spot?
I would have.
You got like 3 kids, don't you?
I have 2. I think I talked to a doctor about it. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I think the theory that he's backed up and therefore it's causing him to throw up is off target. Like I don't think that's how that goes. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think that's how it goes. It turns out I saw in the chat later, peristalsis was the right term. It is the things go down but they don't come up. He should eventually poo. He's just constipated, and I think the doctor might be on target with this mental issue theory. I think he's going to go. I think just like in the past, you're eventually going to see this mother load come true. and from here, we have to work on, what is, I don't know, just make sure he's in a good mental place.
How do you get him? How do you get him out of that mental place? We did it once with reading. Like we'd read to him. We set a little timer. We got a little gingerbread timer, and we'd read to him on the toilet. He eventually gave in and pooped. And he was good for like 2 weeks, and he got back into it. My theory is that what happened is he had constipated one time. He had a really bad case of constipation, and now every time he has to poop or he feels that poop, he remembers that constipation because everybody's had a case of constipation. It hurts. It hurts bad.
It can, yeah. You know, my yeah, I don't know if it's the best idea, but what I'm thinking, like, hand this kid a Nintendo DS, an iPhone, an iPad, something. Tell him to spend some time on the toilet and get some work done. And that's...
We do that. He'll spend like 2 hours on there, and they're like, "Can I get up now?" I mean, trust me.
Okay.
We got him those tech books. You know, the books that tell stories with the little microphone. You press little keys in the book.
Okay.
We got him that. We got him a DS. We got him. Hell, I got to the point where, like, look here. If you every time you poop, I'll buy you a DS game. I didn't buy one DS game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there was never a question of, like, you trying or wanting the best for him. It was just brainstorming.
I mean, I know it's brainstorming like crazy. And it's like, come on. You get to the point like, what can I do?
I like the
right
laxative
now,
ideas a lot, too.
We've tried that, and like he'll go with the laxative. Like that's usually what we have to do to get him out of there because he isn't like constipated, so we can use the laxative. But he'll end up pooping himself. Like last time we gave him a laxative, he was coming home in the car with his mama, and he pooped his pants and threw up at the same time. And I'm wondering if we gave him too much of laxative. I'm wondering if that's his body purging something. Like what happened there?
Okay.
You want a new topic, Kyle? Are you feeling uncomfortable?
Kyle,
No,
you
I
ready
just
for
think
kids?
I think we've beaten this shit to death. Literally.
All right, Kyle. I want to talk to you. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I have noticed a trend over the past, I'll say, 15 years of this is a pubic hair trend, right? Like back in the 80s, if you watch your semi-vintage adult films, then you're gonna find a forest, right? That's what you got on your hands. And then you fast forward a little bit, and it goes from like forest to racing stripe to bald.
Yep.
Bald was the big thing, and it's still there. But to me nowadays, bald, that's your can't go too wrong, lack of creativity option. I feel like we're swinging back in the other direction. The pendulum is headed toward the bush again, and I'm wondering if you found this same trend to be true. What what you look for in a forest.
All right. First of all, I like a little bit of character down there, and I've told this to so many girls. I'm like, why is there nothing there? Like give me a Hitler mustache or something. You know, just get a stripe in there, something, so I know you're an adult. You know, because
yes, right.
Oftentimes that's a question for me. You know. No, but seriously,
even the full bald. Now you're joking with the lots of times that's a question for me, right? But
yeah.
but like on the more reality side of it, yeah, the fully bald thing is too reminiscent of childhood to me. That's not really what I'm down for.
I don't mind it, but let me just say this. I'm not going to throw any numbers out here, but I'll say that the only girl that I've seen in the last, let's just say 6 months, who wasn't completely shaven was like really closely trimmed. So they all are. Like all girls are apparently. Like completely 100% gone down. Mm-hmm. Like give me something down there. You know,
right.
it's I've got a pretty good base of women to base this off of, and all of them are completely shaven or waxed. Now waxed is awesome.
Yeah, I think that we'll say from the business zone down, I like that bald, right? I'm really talking about the hat we're wearing.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Like from the beginning of what we would consider to be the vagina down,
right,
all the way down, that can be completely gone. You can wax that to hell and back.
I don't need anything there. I need anything there. But we want to know, right? Are we going to rock a Hitler mustache up there? Are we going to rock what I consider a tall top hat? Are we going to put on some sort of big Rastafarian hat? Like, all of these are viable options to me. But full-on bald, I'm kind of past that. I am, I'm looking for a little more character. I'm looking for a little more creativity.
You know what? I was with a girl just the other day, and we had the same discussion. And literally, and you know what she told me? She was like, "Well, what would you like me to do down there?" I'm like, "Something with character." She's like, "What if I got a design done?" She's like, "I know a waxing place that does design." And I'm like, what kind of design? She's like, they'll do a kangaroo if you want them to. I was like, seriously? They'll do a kangaroo? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I want a kangaroo.
That's not bad.
So she's going to grow it all the way out, and then they're going to give her a kangaroo down there.
I mean, I could see going Valentine if you wanted to, maybe if you're doing it on your own, right? If you're not involving professional help in your ladyscaping, but if you're going solo, rock a Valentine, rock a racing stripe, rock a capital T if you want, but don't go full bald. Full bald.
No.
What are you in the 90s? Get with it, women. Give us a little something to distinguish you from the childhood version of you.
At least occasionally, because I like the childhood version of you. I do.
Little fantasy coming out there. Wings, what do you think? What is your preference here in female vaginal hair?
Well, I haven't really got too much preference. I mean, I like bald, but it's hard to keep it though, especially when I got to do it. Like I have to use that shit called Veet, and and our hair grows so fast. You got to do it like every second week of the month. So I usually just keep a little hair there just for my safety's sake, vanity reasons.
Because they turn into little miniature razors somewhere in the growing out process. You got to be.
Yeah, and if she's on top, which I like her on top, it's like little pin needles pricking down into your stuff.
There is a hazard involved, that's for sure. Kyle, help me out with the topic.
About kangaroos and shit now.
Yeah.
Kyle's a strange motherfucker.
By the way, guys, I'll upload pictures whenever I get the kangaroo.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'll put that on somewhere that it's cool to put it. I can't tweet it, but I'll put it out there.
I'll keep an eye on my SMS for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Man.
What else is there this week?
Yeah.
How about the model? Let's talk about the model that runs into the fucking prop.
I don't know what that is.
Wait. Say that again.
There was a model that ran into an airplane propeller.
Like a female, underwear model?
A female model got off plane, walked into the propeller of the plane.
This was a little while ago, right?
Yeah, but she was just recently in the news again about recovering and getting a new modeling career. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, why are they rewarding her for being a dumbass? Yeah. Like, everybody's like, she's doing well. She's going to go back to her modeling career. She shouldn't be going back to no modeling career. She has a fake eye and missing a hand.
Oh, she survived it.
She survived it. And, like, she's, like, mutilated. Because, airplane propellers are loud. They usually have a huge fucking 12, 16-cylinder engine behind them. How do you walk into one?
Is it possible she got sucked into it?
No, this isn't a jet engine. This is an old-fashioned prop plane, like a Cessna, like one of the small
ones. Well, I mean,
ones.
you can still get sucked into it. I mean, it's still blowing and sucking.
Yeah, but usually, I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but that's some powerful dumb. I don't know. Why are we rewarding her?
Are we rewarding her, or like?
Yeah, people are giving her publicity, and they're going to get. She's going to go model something with like a prosthetic or something on, and people are going to be like, she's so strong after her accident. And then she's going to fade out about 3 weeks later when the tabloids get tired of her, and then she's going to fall on the unemployment line somewhere down the road, and people forget about her. But like right now, it's like, seriously? She walked into a propeller? That's just something a dumb person does.
I mean, she's a model.
Yeah, she's a model,
yeah.
right? That incident may have proven that she is perfect for that career.
Yeah, well, you're correct in that. Models don't have the most... Models' head game is more on the ground than it is in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just thought that was powerfully stupid how you can walk into an airplane propeller.
It's a rough one. I don't know. I feel for her.
You feel?
I don't know. It's a shame. This is her livelihood, and it was the only thing she did. It in the same way that, like, look, when bad things happen to us, right? Like, my gamer tag was recently hacked, or when someone else has trouble with something, while it's just like a silly nothing for most people, for us, like, these are, much more important events. You're like, man, I got this new account, I lost all my stuff, and it's important to me. When
I'm pretty sure it's important to her that she lost her eye and arm in this, and her career might be over as a model.
It's even more, right? Like, if I lost my hand, oh my God, that would suck. It would be a really big deal. Or damaged my face, that would suck. But for her, like, this was her entire sense of self-worth, right? She was a model. It's not only what puts food on the table, but it is what, I don't know, people are valued almost by what they do, right? And not just who they are, right? It's like, especially guys, the guys seem to have no value whatsoever unless they're doing something good, right? That's usually a career or something like that. But this is not just what she looked like and who she was, but it's what she did. It was her everything, and it was taken for her, and it's pretty tragic. And the thought that she's getting back into it, she might just not know any other way to walk. And I think her modeling career is going to be pretty freaking hurt. It's sad.
Yeah. What'd you guys get for Christmas?
I got bedroom pants, cologne, and 2 blenders.
Nice. Double blend.
Yeah, I got a Ninja and a Cook.
Almost everything is like somehow related. Maybe I just need to get more. But I'm like, bedroom pants, yeah, sexy time. And then what was the next thing he said?
Cologne.
Cologne, yeah, sexy time. 2 blenders, yeah, warm up for the sexy time. Like, I don't know, the whole thing just sort of translated into that for me. What I got, so I got this like big oversized hammock. I got actually just a promise to buy like a fire pit type thing, and that was.
I got one of those too.
Do you?
No, not a fire pit thing. I got a promise from my mother to buy me seat covers.
Okay, yeah. So I actually had in like under the tree a picture of the fire pit, but she wasn't sure which one to buy, and there's a couple $100, and it's so big. We were in New Jersey, and you couldn't like travel with it and stuff like that. So yeah, it looks like the idea is it's like how I said all your stuff led up to sexy time. Mine all leads to like family time. Like in my house, I really value the time I spend with like the rest of us, and it's part of why we have like no television. We talk, we have dinner, we do whatever. And the idea was that we could have like campfires, and this hammock isn't a regular hammock. It's big enough for like 4 people, and it holds 400 pounds, which is I think about what our family weighs, and. You put all of us in there, and I don't know, it might be a cool way to spend a night.
Nice.
Not an entire night, but like,
Oh, look at this story. This right here is a Woody story.
What do you got?
A 99-year-old Italian man files for divorce from his 96-year-old wife over an affair she had 77 years ago.
Wow. 77 years ago?
Let it go.
No, dude, he's right, slut. All this time?
Holy
No.
man.
I got a feeling that was a situation where, like, she admitted it to him, like, recently, like, back in the Cold War. Like, no, it would be like World War II if they're that old. Jesus Christ. It was probably
That'd
like
be the Korean War.
He was probably fighting in World War II when she slept with somebody else or something. Jesus.
When you were up there fighting them krauts, old Jimmy, the nurse's aide, we got it on in the bathroom. I figured I'd let you know before we died.
I don't know what to make of that. It's...
You gotta let that go, right?
Yeah,
Statute of limitations, man. That's like...
Here's the thing.
I mean, like, if you killed somebody and 77 years later they found out, they couldn't convict you of it.
There's no
But you get
statute of
divorced.
limitations on murder.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Nope.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking about the D.B. Cooper thing.
Yeah, not on murder, but here, the reality of this thing, right? On one hand, like I never pass judgment on how people do that. Like, what do you really do when somebody cheats? Do you throw away your whole life? Do you just like I can see if you want to. You've got my approval. Now I always tell my wife that's what I do. I tell her everyone deserves a second chance except you. Like if somebody were to actually stray, you've got a whole life built together. In this case, they've been together for like 77 years at least. That's a lot of shared experiences, right? They're quite the partner. They've been together for forever. On the other hand, it's a kind of, I don't know, backstabbing kind of, adultery. I can't think of any greater violation of trust. And
You know what I'm sitting there thinking about? I'm sitting there thinking about how Alzheimer's not fucking stricken this man to the point he wouldn't even understand she confessed to him. That man's got some brain power. 99 years old, and he still gets mad that his wife cheats on him.
I mean,
At 99, I'm hoping to be alive.
Yeah, some people stay sharp. I mean,
yeah,
throughout
some
their
people
entire
stay
lives,
sharp.
regardless.
But if he wants to dump her, he's fine for me. You know,
I look at it like this. Where
it was
I
a
think
level of backstabbing, a level of disloyalty that can't be matched by anything else I can think of. You know,
I look at it this way: people make mistakes. When if somebody cheats on you and you want to realize if you should leave them or not, look at all the facts of it. Did she cheat on you because she was drunk? Did she cheat on you because of this? Are she still seeing the guy and spending his money along with your money? Mm-hmm. If she's doing that, yeah, dump her ass. If it feels like a one-time thing, give her a second chance. If she does it again, kill her ass. I mean, but you don't dump a woman of 77 years for one time of cheating way back in the fucking coon's age.
You can if you want to. You know, to me, if he wants to, he's good. If he doesn't want to, that's fine too, right? You know,
what purpose of this though? What's the purpose at 99?
I don't know. Like in my mind, if someone were to stray on me, my wife and I have never had a problem like this. But if that would hypothetically happen, I don't know that I could get the visual out of my head. I don't know that every time I'm doing it, I'd be imagining her in that experience with someone else.
Say your wife right now, Woody, says she cheated on you when you first met her, like the month afterwards. Would you divorce her right now?
I might. Fuck that bitch, man. You know, like...
Oh, God. Whoa, simmer down.
Yeah, dude.
I wasn't sure we were going to work out, and I was feeling a little bad and had a little wine.
I'm jealous like that. Like, I don't share, right? This is a 1v1 thing, right? You know, like, that's how we go. And everything else, like, that I'm perfectly loyal. She needs to be as well. That's the deal we have here. Because I would have a hard time getting over it. I would have a hard time, I don't know, coping it. Like I said, the visual would run in my mind. It would replay. And it wouldn't go away soon. I could see a decade later me struggling with the notion that she was disloyal in the world's worst possible way. I'm not built for sharing. That's just how I'm wound. So, when I hear that this guy, 77 years later, dude, he can do what he wants.
He can certainly do what he wants. I feel like if I were in that position, I'd be like, depending on the story. We don't know the whole story, but I feel like I forgive you. 77 years ago, it's not like we're still having sex. I mean, it's...
You might be.
Let me throw this out there. It's a little... Well, what's stopping him from just killing her?
The law?
What the fuck's he care about the law?
She's
99?
96, right? You could fake that. All you'd have to do is suffocate her for a little bit.
He could kill her right in front of the nurse. What are they going to do? Throw him in the jailhouse?
Yes, they are. It's murder.
No, they wouldn't throw a 99-year-old.
Remember what they did to those fucking Nazi war criminals that were like in their 90s? Fuck them. They didn't care. They put them in jail.
You get special privileges at 99.
At 99? How long is he going to be in jail? 6 months?
Yeah, seriously. It's like, what's stopping him? Just fucking spam, boom, bitch. Cheat on that, you know. The shotgun blast might kill him over.
All right. Back to the issue at hand. I got some DVDs. I got
Is this the
Oh, this is the Christmas present.
Yeah, that's what I got for Christmas. I got a few DVDs. Like I got V for Vendetta, Office Space, Dexter seasons 1 through 3, I think.
Some winners.
And, I still need Woody's address.
Well, if we're coming,
it doesn't matter.
I'm coming. Yeah.
Okay, I got booked for presents here.
Yeah, I got a couple for you. I got one for each of you guys as well. And then I got a fucking Snuggie, man. And let me just say this: I've always seen the commercials for the Snuggies, and I've been like, "What lazy motherfucker needs a blanket
the bomb
with sleeves on it?" But seriously, all right. First of all, the fabric is so thin. It's as thin as a T-shirt, but it's fuzzy. And I was out back on my porch a couple days ago. It was about 40 degrees, raining, and the wind was blowing, and that thing was keeping me pretty fucking warm. And I was like in my underwear. Like, Snuggies are the bomb.
But wait, you were wearing a Snuggie outside, walking around?
Well, not like
in the rain.
My back porch is. I got like a big covered back porch. So
whatever.
Like,
you know, you were at the range. You know, you're like,
no.
Can I write myself a 911, an MP5, and I don't have any pockets in this. Can you help me here?
Dude, got a fucking Care Bear Snuggie on.
The Snuggie has pockets. It's like, it's basically like a hospital gown that's warm. So yeah, I'm enjoying my Snuggie, and I got a watch turner, which for those who don't know, if you've got an automatic watch, they don't use batteries. They actually use the motion of you walking to wind them. And I got a couple of them, so I got a watch winder, so the watches are always winding by themselves, which is pretty cool.
I was thinking about buying a watch the other day, then I realized I had a cell phone.
Well, it's kind of like jewelry. It's as much jewelry as it is a timepiece.
But regardless, I was shopping at Walmart, and my limit was like $50. But
yeah, I found a website where they discount watches quite a bit. I got my cousin, and I think I got him an Invicta. It's like it's like a $500-$600 watch. And I got it for a couple $100.
Man, I was playing Spec Ops in Modern Warfare 3. And like in Spec Ops, as you kill people, you earn money and it goes up, and then you can buy kill streaks and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm kicking ass, man. I've got a lot of freaking money to this character.
And I didn't want to spend it.
And then I thought to myself, this is enough to buy one of Kyle's watches. I got like 12 grand in here. I could get an FPS Kyle watch. I could get a McDuck watch.
I'm such a tightwad. I got 130K on my Skyrim character, and I don't want to spend it. I'm like, I could buy a house, but do I really need that house? I got the house in Whiterun.
I play Skyrim like it's Call of Duty or something. I'm always, get to the next checkpoint. Do this. I'm trying to push along.
You're missing out. You're missing out.
Missing out on what? More people talking?
No, like you gotta. Have you even messed with the alchemy, or the enchantment, or the smithing?
No.
Like you're not gonna beat Alduin without messing with smithing. He's gonna
come on,
you.
Woody, step your smithing game up.
You're going to junk that down to easy if you're gonna be Alduin in the game without any smithing.
You better get your smithing up scale.
So the feedback on my last live stream was that people wanted to see a little more dialogue. They wanted to see a little more of that. I heard you mention something about characters getting married, so I'm gonna look around a little bit more. I'm gonna explore. I'm gonna sort of Minecraft it a little bit. I'm gonna change my approach next live stream.
Marry a dude.
You can marry a dude if you want to.
Yeah, you could. And you could vape.
Fucking Kyle and the trannies. It never stops.
I'm just throwing it out there. I realized when playing Fable.
You can marry like interspecies as well. So you can marry like a dude cat.
Now we're talking. Give me a cat man. Yeah.
Somebody in the chat wrote, Woody, is your wife allowed to have sex with another woman since she did in the past? She's never had sex with another woman. This is exactly what happens in these comments. This is how rumors get started.
Yeah.
What? This picture looks nothing like me. It's like I don't have bad acne like this. Look at this trash. Look at this trash, guys. Why don't y'all guys get pictures made of you like this?
Somebody made.
I know the exact picture you're talking about before you send it.
What picture? Oh, is it in Skype?
I just sent it.
This is like a radio show, but all right.
You look somewhat like me, but that's not me.
I knew that picture was gonna. Yeah, I knew that was gonna be that one.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not you.
I bathe regularly, and I have Harley Davidson glasses, not these cheap ass fucking gunmetal black knockoffs.
What do you guys think about Kim Jong Il?
I think I have less hair than this picture has on his head than on my entire body.
His name is Kim Jong. His name is Kim Jong. Got a license to ill.
There's for people that want to know, there's the gamer meme. I think he's a World of Warcraft player. He's kind of a big sloppy guy with acne and a beard, and you can go to a website and add text to it. And somebody's saying that looks like wings, but it's actually I forget if anyone knows the name of that meme. The guy that's the gamer, then put it in the chat for me. That would help, so everyone knows what we're talking about.
Me being offended here, I actually think I'm a pretty good-looking young man. I mean, I have the fucking old man haircut, and I'm losing my hair, and I got gray hairs in my beard, but
you're selling me.
I'm better looking than this guy.
I'm with you. No, for sure. That guy is yeah. You're much better looking than that, gentleman.
Yep, that's true.
You guys want to talk about Kim Jong Il dying and maybe the situation in North Korea?
Dude, yeah, let me tell you something about that. I think we fucked up. We needed to keep that motherfucker alive. His son looks twice as evil.
Are we going on looks alone?
That looks alone. I'm like, I seen that motherfucker when they had the glass casket out, and he's over there shaking like the general's hands and stuff. I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna have a nuclear war.
Yeah, I watched a documentary about North Korea. It's on Netflix. If you guys want to see it, very interesting. It follows a team of, an optometrist to North Korea, and he performs these cataract surgeries, which if you don't know, it's when you get a blurring of the lens in the eye. And it's very easily fixed. He literally does 1,000 of them in 10 days. You cut the eye, you remove the lens, and you replace it with an artificial one. It's so easy, and it cures blindness for these people. And but it's such a huge problem there, and there's so like you really need to watch the documentary to get a grasp of how fucked up things are over there and how brainwashed a lot of the people are. But
Can I briefly interrupt you?
absolutely, I'm done.
Oh no, we'll keep going. But the meme that people are saying looks like wings is called Butthurt Dweller. So if you know the meme and you're in your car, then now you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the problem with a lot of these despos. Like, the guys waiting in the wings are even worse than them. But, I struggle here, right? Because it seems like everyone that the U.S. has a problem with is an absolute madman, and they're stupid, and they're crazy, and they're weird, and they have these crazy issues, and it's bullshit, right? Like, it turns out that people who lead entire countries are oftentimes not completely ridiculous and mad. And I want to draw their attention to Saddam Hussein, right? Saddam Hussein was our friend. He was our guy. And then he became, a bad guy, but at least he was our bad guy. He was under our thumb. He asked for our permission to invade Kuwait. This guy was under our control. And, now it's like, oh, wait a minute. Did Saddam make Iraq the way it is, or did Iraq make Saddam the way he was? Because, yeah, he ruled Iraq with a pretty iron fist, but it turns out if you don't do that, then they all start killing each other.
Yeah.
His reign at least didn't have like Kurds and Shiites and I'm blanking on the other one that's Sunnis, all killing each other constantly. They may not have got along, but they were mostly kind of at peace, because if they weren't at peace, they had to deal with Saddam. And we looked at that from the outside and we're like, what a dick Saddam is, right? He's so mean to them. Well, now you're nice to him, and it's, always on the edge of civil war. Let's look at Kim Jong. They say, oh, this guy is absolutely terrible. He spends all his money on guns and not enough on butter. For people that don't know this, when you run a government, you have this, do you invest internally or do you invest in military? Every dollar you put in military is something that you can't do for your country. On the other hand, how much better is North Korea treated because it has a nuke? North Korea's biggest export right now is like nuclear technology. Everyone who wants it, Iran is paying North Korea for nuclear information and helping them get up and going. They created a little bit of an industry there. They're doing something that it's like, all right, do I think that he was a great leader? No. And I sound like I'm arguing for that case, but I'm not. On the other hand, I don't know that he was the complete jackass that they make him out to be, this madman who was addicted to whatever and tried to convince people he golfed in 18. I believe there is a certain method to his madness that as Americans, we just never hear that side of the story.
This was a National Geographic documentary, and it documentary.
A documentary.
I pulled a Wings Redemption.
It's contagious, bitch. Go on.
Let it slide. No, it's trust me, it's not just like the U.S. is bending this guy into a light that's bad. It's known worldwide. This guy was fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, out of his
Stalin.
All you gotta do is look at him. The dude with the bouffant hair and the lifts and all the insane shit. The propaganda and dude.
Just imagine how good his parenting is, and now his son's in power.
10% of the population died because of a famine that he created. There
created or couldn't prevent, or
created.
He
probably trying to get
how do you create?
No, he purposely starved them out. The whole generation is, they call it the stunted generation, because I don't remember the exact numbers, but they're like 6 inches shorter and like 40 pounds lighter than their 10-year-old counterparts in South Korea, and it's the same race and the same diet. It's seriously like this guy was and I'm with you. Like Saddam Hussein probably wasn't quite as insane as we think he is, even with the gold toilets and the emerald cigarette ashtrays and stuff.
A lot of times when leaders spend money on themselves, you almost expect that, right? Like you want your president, right, or king or leader, whatever you want to call him for your country, to
look wealthy,
to look powerful, to look like if your president stays in an apartment and drives a Chevy Cavalier, then you're like, yeah, my country sucks. You almost expect them to be able to talk to other world leaders as if they're on an equal footing. And you don't want it to be so... You don't want them in poverty. I don't know. When union leaders, not union leaders, when union members find out that their union leaders are well paid, like, yeah, can you believe this guy's making $300,000 a year, your union leader? Union members say, yes, and I want that. I want my leadership to be making $350,000 a year in the same way that the CEOs are making lots of money a year, or $500,000 or whatever. You know, they want them to be on an equal footing and say, yes, I control the labor, you control the company, and you and I meet as equals. If your union leader made, I don't know, make up a bad number, you know, $18,000 a year, then, you know, you'd feel like you're sending in the rookies to deal with these guys. So, anyway.
Yeah. But Kim Jong Il was like out of his gourd, fucking crazy, Looney Tunes. Seriously, that guy's out of like seriously.
Like I said, wonder what his parenting's like.
You're insulting the world's best golfer here.
Yeah, apparently so. That's it. I love that it was like it was his first time, and then he retired. Like it was something like 5 holes in one or something in a row.
Like I'm told he played golf one time, got like a 26, and then retired.
Yeah, like beat the world record by like 30
at
strokes. Yeah, and he's like, I'm so good. Why would I even continue? But no, the poverty that those people live under, and just the absolute.
What is their main output other than nukes? Rice?
They've been cut off. The sanctions. No, you know, the only people who do business with them are countries like China and Iran and places like that. Probably Russia, maybe.
But China's a huge country. I mean, you could live off of China's throwaway.
But they're crippled, dude. Even China has at times been like, no, you're getting a little fucking crazy. Like they're just some of those stuff.
Here's the fear I've always had. Is Korea starts something with us and brings Russia in with it. Now we have like a standoff in Alaska.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Russia would. I don't know if anybody would back a Looney Tune like that. Like he's just so out of his mind. Like I mean,
when shit happens, it happens at the beginning of a reign. So
I felt like I mean, if all of if Europe had just a coalition of countries had just went in as soon as the dude died, you could have almost liberated the place. But they're so brainwashed, I don't think you can. I think with them, you've almost got to start a propaganda campaign for 5 years. We were talking about this the other night. Because those people think that everyone in the world is out to get them. And that's not true. Like we don't hate North Korea. Like, we don't hate the people of North Korea. Like, I have nothing against them at all. But they literally feel like the entire world is, like, out to get them. You know, the children are singing songs about, killing American dogs. And, like, when they give the old woman her sight back, instead of thanking the doctor, she's like, oh, thank you, great leader. Thank you, great general. I'll work twice as hard in the salt mines now. It's just complete brainwash.
They got them brainwashed like the Japs. The Japs used to kill themselves instead of being captured by the Americans.
That's more of a...
Not the honor thing, but like this one. For example, I can remember this one guy on Guadalcanal. It might not have been Guadalcanal, might have been one of the other ones, but they had like a village on the actual thing, and they knew the island had been took over. So this guy killed every one of his family members, and he went to kill himself. He didn't have no bullets left, so he had to get captured by the Americans. He tried to save them from the Americans, torturing, raping, and killing them. Then he gets there into the American camp, and he's fed. He has a good meal. Yeah. And he ends up hanging himself after the war because he killed his family.
Yeah. That's how it is, man. It really is sad how brainwashed they are and how they don't have a decision. I mean, we have discussions here all the time where we disagree on politics and things, and we have that ability to form our own opinions and say whatever you want about our president, our leaders, whoever. You can say your president's an asshole, he's a dumbass. As long as you don't threaten his life. But there, it's just so, I don't know.
So I want to do a crank call.
Yeah, hold up. Level easy. Could you throw shoes at the new Korean leader like you did Bush?
Absolutely not. There was a guy, they're in Iran, they're going to put a guy to death for throwing his shoes at the leader of Iran.
Oh, man.
But I saw that news story a minute ago. I didn't think it was worth sharing, but the guy is going to be executed for throwing a shoe at, I can't pronounce the leader's name correctly, so I won't try off the top of my head. But
it seems to me that guy should have used a bullet instead. I mean,
Yeah.
did you throw a shoe at him? Come on, man. Step up your game. If you're gonna put your life on the line, shoot the bitch.
Yeah,
Exactly,
same punishment.
right?
Might as well go and kill him.
All right, so I have a 24-hour Walmart's phone number, and anyone who wants to take this call can. If you're not down for it, I will. And you guys want to crank call a Walmart?
What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do, Walmart?
If it was me on the phone, I was gonna call them and ask for Whiteboy 7th Street T-shirts.
I can go along with that. That's kind of fun.
Do you want to do it?
I kind of want you to do it.
Ask specifically for the Gypsy Cocksucker shirt.
All right.
Oh, he has a. I didn't even know he had a gypsy cocksucker shirt.
I don't know, but that seems like something he'd put up there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you for calling Walmart. Santa Fe is Walmart.
Hi, can you transfer me to apparel? Men's apparel?
Men's, boys.
Men's.
1 second.
Boys was appropriate. Okay.
Okay, she's in lunch. How can I help you?
I'm looking to see if you have the new Whiteboy 7th Street T-shirts in stock.
The what?
Whiteboy 7th Street T-shirts. He's the #1 source for Call of Duty gaming videos.
Okay, 1 second.
Start arguing with her and ask her how many subscribers she has. And then be like, find me somebody with at least 1,000 subs.
This quiet time is always rough on me. I feel like I should fill it with dancing or something. I can do a pull-up again. You want to see my Got Wood T-shirt?
How many pull-ups can you do?
I'm afraid to find out. Like, if I stop at 6 or something, I'll be embarrassed. I should do it privately.
Yeah, probably so. It's easier to do, the backwards kind where, like your palms are facing you. I can do a bunch of those, but like my hands forward, I probably couldn't do 10.
I can't with this bed over me. I can only grab forward. Like it's not a pull-up bar.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how
I
can
know.
I help you?
Hey, I'm looking to see if you have the new Whiteboy 7th Street T-shirts in stock.
The white boy what?
Whiteboy 7th Street. He's the #1 source for Call of Duty videos.
Oh, no, we only have, what is it? We don't have any Call of Duty. We only have the Modern Warfare 3 one.
That's
And
it.
maybe
That's it. That's the guy. Do you have his T-shirts? The Whiteboy 7th Street T-shirts. He's the #1 source.
Oh, we only had one of those T-shirts left, and I'm pretty sure they sold out already.
Please tell me, is it the Gypsy Cocksucker T-shirt?
No, it's just a black one that had like a guy holding a gun.
Oh. Do you have any other T-shirts with a goat? He's the greatest of all time.
A goat? No.
You have no goat T-shirts whatsoever?
No.
I don't think you realize how big a deal he is. You know he has 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Okay.
So can Walmart start stocking the Whiteboy 7th Street T-shirt line?
That's not up to us. I don't know.
Can I talk to your manager?
Yeah, 1 second.
Thanks.
You managed to get like a Valley Girl Walmart employee? That's not up to That bitch has an IQ of 40. So quiet.
I know. So silent.
Even my house got quiet. I feel like the other people here are listening.
The audio just changed.
Yeah.
We're waiting on Walmart still.
What did Wings say?
Are we waiting on Walmart still?
Yes.
You get an idea of how loud Wings' mic is when he turns it. He's like,
I know. It was all quiet, and then Wings unmutes, and it's...
There, is that better?
no, it sounds like you're laying a pound.
Yeah, Zoe's unhappy.
That mic is so loud. Bitch is incompetent. Walmart employees suck. I'm sorry, but customer service at Walmart leaves much to be desired.
I just picture a woman going through there wondering where the hell Whiteboy 7th Street shirts would be. Why do people want us to get Ken Burton on the podcast for?
I don't know.
Wouldn't he be asleep? It's like 4 a.m.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's
Or
definitely
3
asleep.
5 a.m.? I don't know.
It's 3. It's 3 there.
Yeah, it's 3. You're right.
We should probably get him on the show eventually. He'd be a good guest.
I've never spoken to him.
Well, he seems like he'd be a good guest. Let me go and put that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like his voice. Alright, well maybe we should just give up on this one.
I don't know. The manager's coming. Should I try to convince him to carry the Whiteboy 7th Street line of T-shirts?
I don't know if the manager's ever coming. I'm pretty sure she just put the mic down and
She's watching the show.
Yeah, she's watching the show. Somebody asked you to lick your microphone. We got some weird viewers tonight.
I just touched my tongue to my nose.
Manager Brian speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, how are you? I'm looking to see if you can carry the Whiteboy 7th Street line of T-shirts. He's the #1 Call of Duty source for Modern Warfare videos.
I'm sorry, say that again?
So Whiteboy 7th Street, he's the #1 source for Call of Duty videos in the world, and he has a T-shirt line. And I called to see if you had it in stock, but she told me that you didn't have any Whiteboy T-shirts. I'm wondering if you can get that going.
We'd have to know like the supplier name or anything or something like that. We don't. It's everything is brought in by buyers and suppliers, and unless you have that kind of information, I wouldn't know.
Oh, I'm all set. He works with Spreadshirt.com. They create his T-shirts, and I'm sure they'd be happy to supply them to Walmart. Because I need a direct source. I want to go there. I want to get my hands on these T-shirts. I want to touch them. I want to smell them. I want to rub them on my face, and I want to buy some T-shirts. He has awesome lines. He has there's some that just say Whiteboy 7th Street, but he has other stuff like a goat because he's the greatest of all time, undoubtedly. He has Gypsy Cocksucker T-shirts, which they would just fly off the shelves. So what does it take to get something like that set up with Walmart?
You'd probably want to start in our regional office. That's actually located out of the Pico Rivera store. And just that you'd call them and just ask for the regional office. It's closed now, obviously, and I don't know how much luck you'd have tomorrow, but maybe you can call on Monday.
Do you have any other T-shirts with like goats on them or gypsies that maybe I could use to hold me over?
No, nothing like that. Pretty standard fare.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Uh-huh.